Okay, my dear students, today I would like to explain about the forms. So, forms of HTML. Okay, so this is Ramakrishna B, Assistant Professor, CSC. Okay, so today's concept is forms. So, the object of forms is to discuss the importance about the forms and then form tags, attributes of the form tags. So, forms. Forms is a typical layout on the web page by which user can interact with the web page. The form is nothing but it is in a layout on the web page. It can be interact with the web page. So for the creation of forms, you can use the form tag. Form tag is used to create an HTML form for user input. Okay. The form element can contain one or more of the following form elements. The form, that means so generally if you have to apply any job applications, then one form is open. For example, if you apply the GATE exam, then you have to select the GATE application form. Then in that form you have to open different types of fields. Same like that, form is nothing but any layout on the web page which can be easily interact with the web page. For that purpose you have to use the some element that are input, text area, select, option, label. So these are all the elements of the forms. Okay, the tag of the form is form. So anchor brackets of form. Okay, some of the attributes of the form tag. That means you have to use the some attributes. That means action, method, name, target. So these are all the attributes of the forms. So action. So it is specifies where to send the form data when the form is submitted. That means if you have to click on any button, the form will be submitted. After inserting the data on GATE application, then you have to click on submit button. Then the data will be sent to server. So that is nothing but an action. Method. So method is in a get post. That means it is used for the sending the data from to get. That means you have to get the data post. So specify the HTTP method to use when the sending the from data. So that is the method. Name, that means specifies the name of the form. So for example, if you want to give the name for the form, then you have to give the text. So the name equals to text. So then target. So that means whenever you are click on that, specify way to display the response that received after submitting the form. So whenever you have to submit the form, where it is to be displayed. So that is the target. So these are all the attributes of the form tag. Okay, in that first one is input. The input tag specifies as an input field where the user can enter the data. So input tag is nothing but it is used to accept the data from the user. So user can enter the data. For example, if you consider your Gmail page, in that Gmail page we have a login. So whenever you are click on login, then one web page is open. In that username and password, both are all the input forms. That means input fields. So in that you have to enter the input data by the user. So for that purpose input tag is used. That means by using input field, user can enter the data. You just blindly remember that. Just consider the Gmail page. Whenever you have to open the Gmail page, click on the login and then you have to, it will be appeared on login page. Enter username and then password. Both username and password are the input fields. So for that purpose you have to use input. So input will can vary many ways depending on the type of the attributes. So that is the type equals to button or checkbox or date or file or hidden or password or radio buttons or whatever it may be. Then name is text. If you want to check it, then check it. Value is text. These are the specifies the element should be pre-selected. So whenever we have to click the checkbox, remember password, then it will be automatically password will be remembered. So that is also an input tag. Okay. Then text area. So text area is nothing but it is also an input field, but it accepts multi-line text. That is the most useful or most purpose of the text area. Text area defines a multi-line text input control. That means it can accept more number of lines of data. A text area can hold unlimited number of characters and text rendered in the fixed width font. So in that you have to use the size. A size of text area can be specified the columns and then rows. Then you have to how many number of columns and rows will be accepted, that can be defined with the size. Here some attributes of the text area, that means name, text. So name, the value is text, rows, number, columns, that means how many number of rows to be appeared. So how many number of columns to be appeared, that means specifies the visible number of lines in the text area, specify the visible width of the text area. This is the text area. Text area is nothing but to accept multi-line input data by the user. Okay, this is the text area. And then select. Select is a drop down list. That means in the select, for example, if we select, if you for example, if we can say any online application, some of the drop down list is there. Select the if you have to apply any job, in that how many years of experience you have, 1 year, 2 years, then you can say one drop down. That is the select. Select element is used to create the drop down list. In that option tag is there. Option tag is inside the select element to avail the options. That means once you have to create the select tag, then you have to give the option. That means 1 year of experience, 2 years of, that options will be defined in our option tag. Then label. The label tag is define the label for input element. That means you have to define the one labels. So for that purpose you have to use the label tag. Attribute of select tags. So select tag, name, multiple, size. So this the name is define the name of the drop down list. Multiple, specify the multiple options can be selected at once. Size, that means number, define the number of visible options in drop down list. That means how many number of items to be displayed. For example, if we display 1 to 10, that means then size is 10. If we display 100, the size is 100. So that will be appear on the options in our select. Okay, this is the basic forms example. For example, if you see, that means, so just create login.html. Here the tags are HTML body, then form name is F1, method equals to post, action equals to empty. That means here method equals to post. Whenever you have to use the post method, data will be submitted to server. Then action. So action you don't mention, because whenever you have to mention the action, that means here you have to define what this data to be posted to which page. That will be defined here action, but here we don't define any action. So just you have to method is post, that means data will be posted. Table align equals to center, spell spacing equals to 10. Okay, you have to create the table. In the table you have to create a TD. In that label you have to create the username. That means one label is created as an username. In that the label will be the TD, that means table data will be closed. Then open another TD, input type equals to text, name equals to T1. So this is, you can give any user defined value. So then minus closing of TD. Then first row will be closed. Here TR is open and then here TR is closed. Then second row is open. In that create another table data. That is, you have to use the label and then password. Here the label is closed and then TD, first table data is closed, and then open second table data. So input type equals to password, name equals to T2, and then close of TD and TR. Then next third row, TR is open, then TD table data, input type equals to submit, value equals to submit. That means input type equals to submit. Whenever you have to take the submit, then a type equals to submit, then you have to click on that button, then it will be submitted. So then TD, so table data, then next input type equals to reset. Whenever value type equals to reset. When you have clicked the reset, the value, the data will be erased. Then td, then form is closed, the body is closed. Just see the example of output here. So username is displayed in the, so enter this is in a form, this is in a web page. In that web page I have to create in a form in tabular format. Here I don't mention any border for the table. Table align equals to center, cell spacing equals to 10. So then here only I have mentioned center and then cell spacing. So that purpose it will be open. It will be created like this without any border. Then next the form name equals to F1. Then method equals to post. Then okay, action I didn't mention. Then next tr is open. Here I created the table data and the label. Whenever you have to create the label, then username is created like this, and I have to insert, I mentioned another table data td input type equals to text, that will be created like this. Similarly, second row label password, this is the input area in input field, then it is an submit button and then reset button. Here you have to take it as an input type equals to submitted, otherwise you can take an as an input type equals to button, then value equals to button, so that will be also be created the button. Okay, so this is the form creation. Okay, yeah, so this is the forms concept in our HTML. Okay, in the next video I will explain one example on forms. Okay, thank you.